Well, we're here with TK Anand, Oracle Executive Vice President of Analytics, and Tyler Weeks, Vice President of Talent Analytics for Marriott. Thank you both so much for joining us.
Great to be here.
Tyler, first and foremost, we obviously all know what Marriott does, but can you tell us what is new with Marriott?
Look, I'll tell you that the biggest thing that's new at Marriott is our people. We have so many new people over the last couple of years. I would say on our hourly workforce, most of them are new to the company since COVID.
Wow.
So we've got a huge task on our hands to not only onboard those people, but make them feel part of the culture, make our guests feel like they're at a Marriott hotel. And that's just a mountain of work, mountain of analytics that goes into sort of understanding that experience.
I thought you were going to say our pillows.
The pillows.
It started with a P, and I'm like,
yeah. We've got new pillows.
Softer sheets.
The sheets are new, the mattresses are new.
That's
exactly.
so funny. No. Nice.
TK, give us a state of the union on analytics. What challenges are customers facing that analytics are uniquely able to help solve?
Well, so analytics has been around for decades now, but it's never been more relevant, I feel. I mean, I think the biggest contributor is data. Data is just continuously increasing in size. It's an exponential growth in data. It used to be that analytics was primarily done with data in your ERP systems or your HR systems and so forth, but now you've got data coming from social media or devices, sensors, and so the volume is crazy. And the good thing is the cloud has come in and helps us store and manage all of this data at scale, so that's great. But you still require a lot of human effort to actually troll through data to find insights and then find that nuggets of information that can help you make better decisions. So that's a big challenge. But then AI is now coming to the rescue, because what if machines can go through the data for you and give you insights instead of you having to go through them? So I think that's kind of like at the cusp of where we are in terms of where analytics is.
All right, well, we're going to get into that in just a second.
Yeah.
But Tyler, what are some of the specific challenges going on in the hospitality industry, that especially the ones that analytics can help solve?
Yeah, look, I mean, we're a global company. We operate in 150 countries, I think. We've got 400,000 employees. I'm very focused on understanding those associates. And you know, we partner heavily with Oracle to sort of capture all the information about them and understand who they are, what jobs they do. But frankly, we're also a 100-year-old company. We've got mountains of documentation that we've collected over the years. And being able to answer the question of who does what is actually a very hard problem. So that's where we're really leaning in on, you know, AI that we're getting with our Oracle partners to help us understand all those documents and make some sense out of them. So, you know, in my book, understanding our people is the biggest challenge that we have.
TK, many people think analytics are just about reports and dashboards, but can you talk about where the analytics is going far beyond just these tools? I mean, you already hit on cloud and AI, what else?
Yeah, I mean, I think reports and dashboards used to be hard to use. We made a lot of progress in making users work with data on their own. You don't have to wait for an IT guy to come in and give you dashboards to go look at. You can just work with data yourself. So we made a lot of good progress there. But like I said earlier, it's just the volume of the data, the complexity of the data is so high that, I mean, it's the traditional ways of doing analytics can only go so far. And also, the other big challenge with analytics is it's not reaching enough users in the organization. You have to be data savvy to be able to find your way around the data and get those insights. So I think really the next wave is going to be able to go reach generally the norm in the industry is that we probably reach around 35–40% of users in an organization. What about the remaining 60 to 70%, right? So that's kind of the challenge. And I think there's two things that can possibly help us towards achieving that. One is AI, the other is domain specificity. If we knew that we're in the hospitality industry looking at employees in the HR space, and we can tailor our analytics towards that domain, maybe we can do a lot better and offer tailored analytics for that domain. So I think that's another area that maybe we can go after.
Tyler, TK is talking about all this data that's proliferating and growing enormously, and you guys have, you've got your rewards program, both Kendall and I are members. You've got web data, you've got call center data, all of this data. How do you use analytics to turn that information into something that can up-level a guest experience?
Yeah, I love that question. I'll tell you, the reason that I love my job is because sales and marketing can't have my data, but I can have theirs.
Ah.
So sitting in this role around talent analytics, as we call it, we're the only team at the company that's actually pulling in guest data and financial performance from the hotels. My team also runs all of our surveys that go out to our associates. And so when we go and we look at the success of our programs, we're looking at sort of every aspect of each hotel as a business unit and the success of those leaders. And we're pulling that into a single picture in our OAC warehouse and dashboards so that our leaders can see, hey, we just implemented this new training, we just dropped a new leader into this Ritz-Carlton, and we can see that over this 6-month, year-and-a-half period, they've successfully moved the dial in kind of every place that we care about. So we are truly building a warehouse that can give the most complete picture of our business that we've ever had.
Oh, that's good news for us customers.
Yeah, seriously. Oh, I mean, I was already a Marriott girl, but now, now
it's going to get even better.
Exactly. Okay, TK, how, kind of diving deeper into this, into the employee side of this, how is Oracle Analytics leveraging AI and ML to help organizations, employees really be more productive?
Yeah, so we've been on this journey on AI-powered analytics for a few years now, and like with generative AI, it's getting even more interesting. But so we do a lot of different things. One example is natural language. So one of the things we want to do is when someone's working with data, we want it to make it easier for the user to have a conversation with their data. So natural language is one of the obvious ways you can do that. If you can converse with your data in natural language, there's nothing better than that. So that's one of the things that Oracle Analytics let you do. Pose questions in natural language, even get responses back in natural language. That's one thing we do. We have another capability called Auto Insights. In the analytics world, there's this thing called the blank canvas syndrome. You go walk into an analytics tool, and you get a blank canvas with all this data, you don't know what to do. Well, we have this system called Auto Insights that'll go in the background and look at your data, find interesting patterns and insights, and get you at least started with where to look. So this is just a couple of different examples. You have other things like you can go point at employee attrition data and ask the system, hey, tell me what are the key drivers behind attrition. So we might say things like, early in career employees, maybe the reason they're iterating is because maybe they didn't get a really good mentor to begin with, whereas late in career employees might have completely different reasons. So things like that.
Makes sense, and Tyler, you addressed this topic in your session. How are the ML capabilities in Oracle Analytics Cloud benefiting Marriott?
Yeah, look, I've spent a lot of time beating my head against the wall with this concept of data literacy. Like, how do I get all these folks to care about and learn how to interact with data? Some of the stuff that TK's team is working on for OAC is actually doing the opposite. It's helping my data get people literate. And that to me is the most powerful thing, because I've sort of given up. I'm never going to bring all these people up to sort of the level of an analyst or an engineer, but I can bring the data to them in a way that's much more accessible. So I'm very excited about some of these capabilities. Like just changing the relationship altogether between, that lonely HR leader at a hotel in the middle of nowhere who's got to go do all this stuff and lead this property. They are hungry to use information, but they're never going to go structure a query. So very exciting.
Yeah, well, I mean, they could do it in natural language processing and just. I'm kidding. They'll use P-SQL. We'll just get them some coding camps.
Right, there you go.
Exactly. In what areas is Marriott using AI more broadly?
So Marriott is, we're definitely investing in the future. My team is using AI in ways to, like I mentioned, to to understand our roles, like really sort of have a clear language for us to talk about how people do work and how it gets done. They're looking at AI for the guest experience, how you get recommendations for hotels, build itineraries for your trips, all kinds of sort of really exciting ways that are going to make it easier to use our offerings. So it's going to be an exciting future.
A lot to come. Okay, TK, we are just wrapping up here, but before we do, you talked earlier about Oracle Analytics integration with business applications. Why is this so important, and most notably for the success of our customers?
I think this is this gets me the most excited because this is Oracle's unique secret sauce. If you look at all of the other analytics vendors, they're just empty platforms. They don't have data in them. Oracle has such a rich suite of applications, ERP, HCM, CRM, as well as all of our industry applications, healthcare, hospitality, all of these. So we understand the data that we hold on behalf of our customers, and we understand the business processes, the kinds of problems that our customers have, so we can offer tailored analytics for the specific use cases, not just descriptive analytics, AI, machine learning, and all of that. So we're on this journey with Fusion Analytics, NetSuite Analytics, Healthcare Analytics, to offer sort of finished solutions for each of these domains, which you couldn't do if you didn't have the knowledge about the data, the shape of the data, and all of that. So that's a pretty cool thing that we're working on.
I feel like both of you guys have been talking about this notion of taking all of this data from having it to actually using it in very specific ways, right? And we talk a lot about data-driven organizations.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that they're using, well, that might mean we just have it, right? So, Tyler, as you think about what other organizations are facing like yours, what advice would you give them about how to be more data-driven in a way that helps them make decisions and move the needle?
Look, the first thing I tell any executive team that I work with is I give them a bit of blasphemy as like their data guy. I walk in and I say, look, I actually don't care about data. There's nothing exciting about data. To me, the relationship between, data is to me what lumber is to an architect. It's important. I need to know about it, but I want to build amazing things with it. I think my one piece of advice would be, don't think about data as the end product. Think about it as the raw material. What are you building? Like, what are you making? What decisions are you driving? What business process are you embedding in? What's the work that they're trying to do, and how are you helping them do it? If I just give you a list of people, like a list of the United States in alphabetical order tells you nothing about the relationship between Oklahoma and Oregon, right? So the map showing how to put it together and how the states work, that's what gives you some insight. So.
Sure.
I like that, because lumber just sitting there is what? It's like firewood, it's nothing.
It's nothing. Right,
nothing.
Exactly.
I love that. I also loved what you said, making your data more people literate. I'm going to use that.
Go for it, it's all yours.
Yeah, thank you, Tyler. Well, thank you both so much for sharing the insights. This was a great conversation.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.